You see Rabbi Ahmed.
Welcome again, and we are going to learn the laws of Pesach, Siman, the section 429, and Halacha 17. Halacha 17. And this is a general halacha on Yom Tov. Kol ha'isa isur, anyone who brings about an isur. What does it mean? He brings an isur to a festival. What is he doing? By eating and drinking, and soon we're going to see what does it mean. He's bringing a prohibition, an isur, by eating and drinking. So the person increases slightly the amount he eats and drinks on the day following the festival. Imagine that you are eating a certain meal in on the Yom Tov, the Seudah, the meal of Yom Tov, and the following day you're having even a bigger meal, which is not Yom Tov. Assuming Yom Tov is over, you're making a bigger meal than you had on Yom Tov. So you eat better on the following day after Yom Tov than on the Yom Tov itself. The person increases slightly the amount he eats and drinks on the day following the festival, and in this way it makes the day ancillary to the festival. So it becomes like secondary to the festival. The festival, you had 5 salads on the table, and the following day you're having 10, for example.
Yeah.
So is considered by scripture like one who built an altar and offered a sacrifice on it, as alluded by the verse, Isu Chag ba'avosim, which means bind to the festival in avosim, heavy and fat sacrificial animals, until you bring them to the horns of the altar. This it's obviously a pasuk in Tilim. The Alter Rebbe is referring to the interpretation of this verse. The literal meaning of this verse is really different, but so accordingly, in those countries, it is customary to increase slightly one's eating and drinking on the day after each of the 3 festivals. One should not fast on these days. This restriction includes even a groom and a bride on their wedding day, and one who fasts on the date his father or mother Loleinu passed, as we will explain in section 568 and 573. This prohibition is merely a custom. According to the fundamental principles of the law, there is no prohibition against fasting on these days. What does it mean on these days? On Erev Pesach. Nevertheless,
this is the next day after the holiday.
Right, but also the previous halacha was on Erev Pesach. It says we have to, in Erev Pesach, it says that you have to eat less.
Right.
So you have appetite.
For the Seder.
Appetite. So over here it says there is no, this prohibition is merely a custom according to the fundamental principles of the law. There's no prohibition against fasting on these days. Nevertheless, one who refrains from doing so is praiseworthy, as explained. Meaning he's continuing, it's like Isur Chag is adding to the Yom Tov by having another day of festivity. And this is hinted by the word Isur Chag ba'avosim. Bind to the festival with avosim. So he's like binding the festival by adding another day of festivity to it. Even though he's having more than what he had the day before. So it seemed like it was something negative, but actually something positive, that if someone continues the Yom Tov, he stretches it for another day, at least with the way he eats. One more halacha, it says, when does the above apply? On the days that follow Pesach and Sukkot. However, on the day that follows Shavuos, specifically on the days of Pesach and Sukkot, that you're allowed to have more, that you should have more, and it's a good thing. But however, when it comes to the days that follows Shavuos, it is forbidden to fast according to law for the rationale to be explained in section 494. Days after Shavuos will be forbidden to fast. Thank you all for watching.